All right, afternoon, Pink Sox Nation. This is a very special, very different video than what we're used to. This is not an instructional video. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about something a little bit more on the serious side. I know you're used to me, goofing around and stuff like that, and I like doing that. But every once in a while, I got to bring it down a little bit, all right? And I got to be a little bit serious, okay? I'm doing it this way through video because I know that not everyone can get to every practice, so I want to make sure everyone gets this. And I also want to make sure that nothing I say is misunderstood. We've all played the game of telephone, parents and kids alike, and you hear something, and then one person repeats it, next person repeats it, and by the end, it's a completely different message. So I want to make sure there's no uncertainty in what I have to say today. This isn't, meaning to be, you guys did something wrong type situation so much as there's something that needs to be addressed, and it's about being teammates, all right? It's been brought to my attention. Some things I've heard myself, some things have been brought to me by players that other players have said, and I'm leaving names out of this. There's no need to bring names into this. But we don't put our teammates down, all right? Very first time I met with everybody, very first address that I gave to the team back in August, seems like a lifetime ago already, all right? Very first address that I gave, I stressed the importance of us being one team. You've heard me say it many times before. We win, we lose, we rise, we fall as one, okay? One of us falls, everyone picks up that person, right? We are one unit, one family, all right? We treat each other with respect. What we don't do, and, apologize for the word, but it's the word that I've heard used. What we don't do is say, so-and-so sucks. Especially not somebody on your own team, all right? That is not a cool thing to do. Okay, from day one, I made it very clear that this is a place for everybody, where everybody is welcome, where everybody is important. Doesn't matter what position you play, doesn't matter how many hits you have, doesn't matter how many outs you make in the field. Everybody is as important as the girl next to her. Period. There's no question on that. All right? People are going to be better at certain skills than others. That happens in softball. It happens in life. Spoiler alert, it doesn't change as you get older. There are people that are better than me at things. If things I'm better than other people, hey, that's just the way it works, all right? That's the way life is. But we don't put each other down, all right? I cannot stress enough that that is not acceptable on this team. When you are sitting on our bench and you're wearing our uniform, you are not only representing yourselves, you are representing all of your teammates. You're representing your coaches. You're representing your parents. You are representing the Montgomery County Little League organization. All right, and that's a heavy responsibility. Now, parents, I know sometimes kids say things and they don't mean to say them. There's no malicious thought behind it. They don't have a filter. I know this age. We've all been this age, right? We've all said things, even as adults, that we shouldn't have said out loud. Like, oops, did I say that? Was that my out loud voice? It happens, all right? These weren't things that were earth-shattering, oh my goodness, you're a horrible monster for saying it type deals. This was more along the lines of being negative and critical to teammates that other teammates overheard and were hurt by. And that's something that I don't want to hear or see happening on a team that I'm a part of. That is not something that I deem acceptable, and I'm certain all of you would agree with that. Now, I've said in the past, I don't use the bench as a punishment. I don't put people on the bench because they dropped the ball in the field or they struck out. You see, when I come to the games, the lineup is set. I already know where everybody is. You've never seen me, have a girl strike out and be like, all right, you're on the bench next inning, she's going in instead. No. I use the bench for everybody. This past game, we played 4 innings. My own daughter was on the bench 2 of those innings. She played outfield once. She played infield once. It's for everybody. I try to make it as fair as I can, moving people around. But I'm putting it down now. I don't care that there are only 2 weeks of the season. It stops here. Anybody that I hear of that is saying negative things towards a teammate, they sit on that bench. Period. That is something that I am not going to tolerate. That is the definition here of a zero tolerance act. I don't care if it's my own kid. I don't care whose kid it is. I don't care if they just hit 15 home runs and won us a game. Even with 2 weeks left in the season, I don't want to have to be this way. I don't want to have to bring any sort of discipline into this of that manner. But I will. I want to make that abundantly clear. Bullying and putting down on this team in anywhere, school, on the field, off the field, it doesn't matter. You treat people with respect. And that is something that I have been trying to instill, and I know parents, you've been trying to instill. It's not everybody. It's a couple of people here and there. It's not even widespread. But it's enough that I've heard the last 2 weeks that I felt that I needed to make a statement on it, where I stand and what the consequences are. I know, again, kids say things, they shoot their mouths off. They don't even mean it to, it's sometimes it's not even meant as an insult. And the one person I am going to throw a name out for is my own daughter. She was playing right field a couple of weeks ago. She was trying to give advice to the first baseman to stand at a different place when she had the ball. But the way it was coming out was not the way she intended it to come out. The way it was coming out, I felt when I heard it, was coming out as a little bit too bossy, a little bit too pushy, and a little bit too critical. And I pulled her aside. I put an end to that and told her that that's not how we talk to our teammates. I know she didn't mean it. It wasn't anything insulting, but it was still the way, it was the manner of her tone came across as trying to be a little bit too bossy. And I didn't like that. So if there's one thing to advise your teammate, stand a little bit over to this side. It's another thing to be a little bit more, she was being a little bit more aggressive about it. And I made sure she knew that's not what we do. This particular teammate was not at the last game, and we didn't have practice last week. But rest assured, Anna will be issuing a private apology to that teammate at Tuesday's practice, because I want her to make sure that she apologizes, that she understands that even though she wasn't doing anything wrong per se, you still need to be respectful in the way you treat your teammates. All right? When I was your age, ladies, I played 2 sports at this time. It went up between 8 and 10. I played baseball. I played basketball. My baseball team, I wasn't very good at. And I had a coach who made sure I knew I wasn't very good at it. He'd make fun of me. I had people on the team would make fun of me. It hurts. All right? It hurts when anyone makes fun of you. It hurts even more when it's someone in your own team. It's one thing if you strike out and the other team is heckling you and they're like, we got her out, she's terrible. It's not good sportsmanship. But it's a little bit different when you overhear somebody on your own team, somebody who's supposed to have your back, someone who's supposed to be on that team in that field with you, and someone who's supposed to be your friend saying something bad about you. That hurts a lot more. Think about the way you would feel if you heard someone say that about you before you decide to say that about somebody else, right? And again, that's not just in softball, that's in life, all right? Compare that to the basketball team I was on. I remember one game, we were down by a point, the game's about to end. I had the ball, just threw up a last-minute desperation shot to hopefully win the game. I missed. Went right in, right out. And I remember being in the locker room and changing and apologizing because I felt so bad. I apologized to my teammates for missing that shot. And my teammates were like, what are you apologizing for? It's okay, we all miss shots today. That was being part of a team. That felt good. It doesn't feel good if you've had a rough day at the plate and you strike out, or a ball comes to you in the field and you think you've got it and it bounces off your glove and a run scores. and then you hear somebody on your teammate say, she sucks. Not good. All right? I don't want to have to say this again. I don't like being serious like this. You know, I like to be fun. I like to create that fun atmosphere. But I also want to create an atmosphere where everybody feels welcome, where everybody is in a safe place, that they know that they are important, where they know that everything is okay, that even if they make a mistake, it's going to be okay. Everyone's going to have their back. All right, and that's why, and parents, I'm going to need your help with this a little bit. On the bench, I need you girls on the bench during the game. All right? I can't have people wandering off and chasing after dogs or doing whatever and stuff like that. I understand sometimes you may need to tell your parents something, to go to the bathroom, something like that. It's not a prison, the dugout. But you're there as a team. And part of that is sticking together as a team, is staying on that bench, in that dugout, when we're up at bat, and cheering on your team. You should know who's up next. I shouldn't be asked 15 times a game, who's up next? Do you know what score it is? You should be paying attention to that. All right? And part of that I have to own responsibility for because I haven't asked for the help. Now I am these last 2 weeks, just because I've noticed it's been more pronounced in the last couple of weeks. You know, to just help. I know some parents already do, you know, help on the bench and help with the catcher's gear and help keep the on deck circle clear, and I appreciate that. I really do. This is just an extra step. I want to keep the team as a team as much as possible. I don't want to make it into a prison. You know, I don't want to make it be that they can't, like, you know, walk outside and tell their parents something or anything like that. But I want to make sure that we are together on the bench as a team, cheering on our team. All right? Big takeaways from this, besides that, is to make sure that we reinforce we do not put one another down. Okay? That's not a thing that we do. That's not something I want to hear. I'm not happy to hear that, but I'm going to end it here. All right? There's going to be no further action taken. All right? This is the last I'm going to speak about. This is the last I should have to speak about it. All right? This is not a video I wanted to record today, but it's a video I had to reinforce that we are a team together. We are a family together. And family, friends, teams, we do not tear each other down. We do not walk around bragging about how we're better than everybody else. And we do not say, that girl sucks, she sucks. We don't say things like that. It's not the way we conduct ourselves. All right? So that's all I'm going to say on this. I didn't want to take up time from practice. All right? Hopefully, you know, rain stays away. We could actually have a practice on Tuesday night before we head into our game on Saturday. But, you know, parents, I hope that you understand where I'm coming from on this. I apologize if I'm coming off as too gruff. It's just a very serious thing to me. It's something that, as someone who spent an entire lifetime being bullied and being told all the things I can't do, that I take a personal offense to. And I don't want to see any other child go through the stuff that I went through growing up, because I know how it feels. And when a little girl comes up to me in tears because she overheard something somebody else said, I'm going to stop that. Okay? So where do we go from here? We move on. All right? Keep the criticisms down. Let's play some ball. Let's have some fun. And remember that you are a team and you are friends. And we are all in this together. All right? I'll see you girls Tuesday night. All right? Let's go Pink Sox. Any questions? You know where to get me.